Hi everyone, let's talk makeup. And actually let's talk beauty goals. I was just sitting down to write some of my beauty goals for 2018, and I thought I would be a good idea to share those with everyone and to hear what your goals are. So I don't have like a long list of goals. I try to just stick with things that are manageable. One of my things for 2018 is to be realistic, right? I'm not going to say, oh, no, be on a no buy for most of 2018 because that's just not going to be realistic for me. I do kind of want to be more mindful about my spending on makeup, but I have hopefully narrowed that down a little bit more to specific goals so that it's not spend less, which is like, okay, but how am I going to spend less, right? Because if the goal is just spend less, you end up it's almost like eating, right? You tell yourself don't eat as much, and then you starve yourself for a while, and then you end up binging. So what was the point, right? So it's better to kind of be more manageable in your approach to things. So that's hopefully the approach that I will take on in 2018. So let's get started. Some of my goals. One, declutter. And a big reason why I think this is going to be manageable for me is because I'm moving in a week. I'm moving. And I'm actually hoping to film some of my moving. For example, I have now moved, this will be my third move with a significant makeup collection. So what I'm hoping is to share some of the tips that I've learned in the past when moving. I have only had 2 things ever break on me. So I think I've done a pretty good job of the way I move and the way I pack my makeup. So that I think will be a good way to declutter, because packing is like one of the things I hate the most about moving. I hate moving. I like organizing, I like unpacking, but I hate packing. So if anything can be thrown out or given away or donated, it will be. That is my goal. So declutter. So I'm hoping to film some of that. Let me know if you're interested, because I don't know, maybe nobody will watch those, and which is fine with me, but let me know if you would be interested. A second goal is to limit the amount of palettes that I buy in 2018, because I have a ton of palettes. I did declutter a bunch. I decluttered a bunch of mid-end, like Sephora palettes I bought at Sephora. A lot of Urban Decay palettes I decluttered, and in holiday releases I decluttered. But this has taught me that, I need to limit the amount of palettes I buy. I don't need to buy a palette just because it's hyped up and everybody in the beauty community is talking about it, right? Do I need it? Do I really want it? Is it something that's going to add something to me, to my life, to my collection? It's probably not going to add anything to my life, but do I really want it? So I haven't given myself a limit in terms of palettes, because I tend to go a little bit crazy at the end of the year with some of the holidays stuff. So I just want to be more mindful. Already, I was at the store yesterday at Ulta, or not yesterday, a couple of days ago, and I saw the Jaclyn Hill palette. My Ulta had it, but I'm like, do I really want this palette? Do I really need? I don't need it. First of all, you don't need any makeup, but I'm like, is it really going to bring me that much joy to use it? The answer was no, so I didn't pick up the Jaclyn Hill palette. I might change my mind. I reserve the right, but I feel like I'm already putting that into practice, kind of putting a lot more thought into which palettes I'm buying. Use my high-end items. I talked about this in my makeup basket video, which is up, and I have, from time to time, I've allowed myself to splurge on like really high-end stuff. Things like Hourglass, like Charlotte Tilbury, like Vice Art. I don't have a ton of these items, but so I have enough of these high-end items that they're going neglected, because I oftentimes, when I do like project pans or try to use up items, I pick things that I don't necessarily love, that I want, or things that I want out of my collection. And I think I'm going to switch up my approach this year and instead focus on high-end items that I love, because you know what, those take just as long, sometimes longer, to finish, to use up. And so while I'm busy getting rid of or using up things I don't necessarily love, things that I love, that I paid a lot of money for, are sitting in my collection completely unused. And I want to get my money's worth. If I spent more money than maybe I should have, then it needs to be for a reason. It needs to get used. So I'm going to use my Hourglass palettes, my Charlotte Tilbury Ice to Mesmerize shadows. I'm going to use my Vice Art palettes, my Marc Jacobs eyeliners. I'm going to use some things that I paid a lot of money for. And so the beauty basket is how I'm going to do it. So every week I'm rotating beauty products into my makeup basket. This doesn't mean that I'm not going to use my drugstore products. I still have drugstore products in my beauty basket, but I want to get the use out of the high-end stuff that I have. So there we go. Another goal is to have no unopened, unused items. So I was looking at my concealer, a little stash here, and I'm like, oh my god, I think I've got a couple of concealers in there that I've never used. Why? I also have one palette I've never used. I have some lipsticks that I've only used once or twice. Why is that happening? Because I have too much. So my goal for 2018 is to not have any unused products in my collection. If I really haven't used them and I'm not going to use them, then they need to be gifted or donated. They need to not be sitting in my drawer. Another related goal is to have no backups. I used to have like backups of certain things, and that's something that I'm not the worst at. Like, I don't go out and buy tons of things as backups, but I do have some backups. I have beauty blender backups. I have mascara backups. I have what else? I used to have a ton of setting spray backups. So no, I'm gonna stop with that. I'm gonna have 1 or 2 items of something, and especially with things that last forever. Why do I need a backup? I don't need a backup, so I'm not gonna have a backup. Those are my goals. So, and to do that, part of it is the decluttering, right? Just going through my collection, knowing what I have, and getting rid of the things that are not getting used, right? So that's related to the have no unused, unopened items in my collection. All right. Try to not be afraid of color is another one of my goals. I realized that I'm not afraid of certain colors. Like, I'm not afraid of pink, of bright colors, but I am afraid of dark colors. And that's really the goal, is to use more dark colors. The look that I had on in my makeup basket video was a look that when I first laid down the first shadow, it was a dark shadow, and I laid it out in my lid, and I started to panic because I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna look like I have a bruise in my eye. What is this? How am I gonna fix this? I almost removed everything from my eye at that point, but I forced myself to just add more shadows, finish the look. And it worked out really, really great. I ended up doing a look that I really loved. I was like, so why am I afraid of these dark colors? No reason. And going along with all of that is to use my lip liners. I don't have a ton of unused lip liners, and I actually don't have a ton of lip liners compared to other people, but I have quite a bit. I keep them in this little cup, and these are no lip liners. See, some of these are hair things and lip brushes, but I do have quite a bit of lip liners, and a lot of these would come in kits, or you get gifts with purchase, things like that. Some of these are really good, and I need to get some use out of them, and the ones that are not very good, then I need to get rid of. Yeah, I want to use my lip liners more. I know some people are really great about using lip liners. I just am not. Like, it's a mental thing, right? Because I take the time to do my eyeliner. That's not a problem. I make the time for it. But somehow, grabbing for the lip liner and using it feels like, oh, that's too much work. I ain't got time for that. I've got time for a bunch of other things, but not time for the lip liners. So I'm trying to spend a little more time with the lip liners. So already I started a few days ago. I used a lip liner as a lipstick. Works really great. They're long lasting, or they last a little bit longer than other lipsticks. And so I'm planning on using my lip liners. And my last goal is to post videos on YouTube regularly. I have not been so regular in all of 2017. I was a little bit more regular towards the end, but right now my goal was 3 days a week to post Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And while I'm not, while the semester's not on, that is more feasible. But during the semester, I realized that posting 3 times a week is a little bit harder. So I'm going to go for 2 days a week. And so I'll probably go with Tuesday and Thursday for my posting schedule. But I want to be regular and upload 2 times a week, every week. And so that's just my goal, because doing these videos is something that makes me happy. It's a little bit of my me time. I'm not as fond of editing, but it's growing on me. So that's the goal. But those are it. Those are my goals for 2018. I might be adding more goals as I move along, as the year progresses a little bit. But those are, I think, a good start, and will get me started on the right foot when it comes to beauty items, makeup, all of that. So let me know what your beauty goals are for 2018 down below, and if you have any suggestions for how I can be successful at keeping my goals. That is it for me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.